Welcome back to Inherited Dawn, a One Piece podcast. We are breaking down chapter 159 today, titled, Come On.
And what a fitting title. It feels like Oda is just looking at the audience and saying, come on, you thought you knew what this story was about? Buckle up.
Right? Because we just learned something foundational, something that changes everything we know about our captain. Monkey D. Luffy has a brother.
An older brother, a powerful, famous pirate in his own right, who just showed up out of nowhere, wreathed in flames, with a backstory that feels like it's about to define the next era of this entire story.
This is the kind of reveal that sends ripples backwards and forwards through the entire story. If you want to be here with us as we chase those ripples all the way to the end of the Grand Line, make sure your name is on our crew roster. Go ahead and follow the show. You don't want to be left at the dock for this one.
We start this chapter with a grim look into the inner workings of Baroque works, a look that tells us more in 2 pages than some stories tell in an entire volume.
Yeah, we see Mr. 11, who got captured by Smoker's unit a while back. He's in a marine brig, and some of his own people, the Billions, show up. You think it's a rescue, right? That's what a crew does. They save their Nakama. But nope, they're there to kill him and take his spot.
It's a meritocracy of murder. The only way to advance is to eliminate the person above you. This isn't a crew. It isn't even a company. It's a self-consuming machine, an Ouroboros of ambition. Every single member is incentivized to betray the person they report to.
It is brutal. It tells you everything you need to know about the kind of person Crocodile is. He doesn't inspire loyalty. He inspires ambition through violence. Every single person in his organization is just waiting for a chance to stab their superior in the back. Think about that. The Straw Hats would literally die for each other. Arlong's crew, for all their faults, had a twisted sense of brotherhood. Don Krieg's crew was terrified of him, but they were still a crew. This is the complete opposite. It's the anti-Nakama.
It's a system designed to ensure only the most ruthless, cunning, and paranoid survive to reach the top. It also ensures that there's no real trust. Imagine being an officer agent. You can't sleep soundly. You can't turn your back on your subordinates. The very system that gave you power is a constant threat to your life. Crocodile has cultivated an organization that perfectly mirrors his own philosophy. Trust no one, rely only on your own strength, and see everyone else as a disposable tool.
And that's terrifying, because it means the people who do make it to the top, the ones we're about to meet, are the absolute worst of the worst. They clawed their way to the top over the bodies of their former comrades. They're not just strong, they're sociopaths.
And while that cold-blooded assassination is taking place, we cut to a scene of pure, undiluted loyalty. The Straw Hats are making their escape, sailing away from Nanohana. Ace bought them the time they needed.
And Vivi is already putting a plan into motion. She's not resting, she's not panicking, she's leading. She writes a letter for her father, King Cobra and Alubarna. This is her Hail Mary pass.
She gives it to the fastest member of the entire Alabasta rebellion, Karoo, our boy, the leader of the super spot-build duck squad. She's trusting him with the single most important message in this entire war.
This is such a huge moment for both of them. We've seen Vivi grow so much, from a mysterious bounty hunter to a princess begging for help, and now to a true commander. She's delegating, trusting her people, and Karoo steps up. You can see it in his eyes. He understands the weight of this mission. It's not just a delivery, it's the hope of the entire kingdom resting on his little webbed feet.
The letter contains everything. The truth about Crocodile, the conspiracy, the identity of Mr. Zero, Igaram's sacrifice, everything Cobra needs to know to understand the real threat. It's an intelligence report that could stop a civil war. And she's entrusting him to a duck.
Hey, he's not just a duck, he's a warrior, and this is his time to shine. It's also an incredible risk, you're right. He has to cross the entire Sandora Desert alone. He's a bright blue and yellow target in a sea of brown, hunted by the most dangerous assassins in the country. But he accepts without a moment's of hesitation.
Because that's his princess. That bond is unbreakable. We saw him take a hit from Mr. Five for her back in Whiskey Peak. We saw him charge into Little Garden. This is the culmination of that loyalty. It's a powerful counterpoint to the scene we just witnessed with Mr. 11. In Baroque Works, loyalty gets you killed. In the Straw Hat Alliance, loyalty is your greatest strength.
He would run through a sea of fire for her. I love it. Karoo for Straw Hat, let's go.
So Karoo heads off on his mission, and the Straw Hats are on the Mary, sailing up the river. And then Luffy, in the most casual, offhanded, Luffy-esque way possible, just drops a narrative bomb on everyone.
It's perfect. Nami just asks a simple question. Who's that guy? And Luffy, with a mouthful of food and a big old grin, just goes, he's my big brother. The whole crew just freezes, jaws on the deck. Usopp's eyes are literally bugging out of his head. Sanji probably dropped his cigarette.
It's a complete system shock. We've been with this crew since the beginning. We know their backstories, their dreams, their tragedies. We feel like we know them intimately. And this whole time, for dozens and dozens of chapters, Luffy had an older brother he just never mentioned. It never came up.
Because why would it? That's so Luffy. To him, it's not a secret. It's just a fact. Oh yeah, the sky's blue, water's wet. I have a superpowered fireman for a big brother. It's incredible. He lives so completely in the moment that ancient history from like a week ago doesn't matter unless it's right in front of him.
And it just gets crazier. He reveals Ace is a pirate too, and ate a devil fruit. The Mera Mera no Mi, the flame fruit, a loja, the same type as smokers, but a far more destructive element.
This completely reframes Luffy. He wasn't just some kid in a barrel who stumbled into being a pirate after a chance encounter with Shanks. He comes from a family with pirating in its blood. It makes you wonder who else is in that family. We know his name is Monkey D. Luffy. Ace's name is Portgas D. Ace. They have different last names, but share that mysterious initial.
And that is the detail that sends my mind racing. The D. We first heard it from Dr. Kureha on Drum Island when she spoke of Gold Roger. Actually, Gol the Roger. Now we have Monkey D. Luffy and Portgas D. Ace. This isn't a coincidence. D is not just a name. It's a designation, a heritage, a destiny. Are they the will of D she spoke of? Are they descendants of some ancient clan? This reveal doesn't just give Luffy a brother. It puts him into a historical context that feels ancient and incredibly important.
It also explains a part of Luffy's drive. He's not just trying to be the best. He's been chasing his big brother his entire life. You can feel that history there. The way he talks about him, he's so proud. He looks up to him so much. It's this beautiful, pure brotherly love. He's not jealous of Ace's power. He's excited by it.
And just as they're processing this, as the pieces are clicking into place in their minds, Ace himself just appears on the Going Merry, lands silently on the railing like a phantom.
His entrance is so cool. It's so much better than some big explosion. He just shows up on his little flame-powered skiff, the Striker. It's basically a surfboard with an engine of pure fire. How awesome is that? He hops aboard and immediately demonstrates the family resemblance by falling asleep mid-sentence while eating.
It seems to run in the family. Narcolepsy as a hereditary trait. It's a brilliant piece of characterization from Oda. It immediately disarms the crew. This incredibly powerful, famous pirate who just single-handedly held off a vice admiral is at his core just as goofy as his little brother. It makes him instantly likable.
It absolutely does. But when he wakes up, he gets right to business. This isn't just a social call. He turns to Luffy and offers him a spot. He wants Luffy and his entire crew to join the Whitebeard Pirates.
An incredible offer. Let's provide some context here. The Whitebeard Pirates are one of the 4 emperors, the Yonko. These are the 4 pirate crews that rule the second half of the Grand Line, the New World. They are the titans of this age. This is like being a promising high school basketball player and getting a direct phone call from Michael Jordan in his prime saying, "Come play for the Bulls."
It's an unbelievable opportunity. A shortcut to the top. Protection, resources, power. Everything a rookie crew could dream of. And Luffy doesn't even blink. He just flat out says no.
No hesitation, no consideration, just an immediate firm, "I refuse."
Because Luffy is the captain, he's never going to serve under anyone. He respects his brother, you can see it, but his dream is his dream. He's not going to be a subordinate on the path to becoming Pirate King. This is such a defining moment. It reaffirms everything we know about him. He wants the adventure, the struggle. He wants to get there with his crew, on his terms. Taking a shortcut would devalue the entire journey.
Ace doesn't seem surprised. He seems to have expected it. He just smiles. He knows his brother. Then he explains his own goal, to make his captain, Whitebeard, the Pirate King.
This is where you see the fundamental difference between them, and it's fascinating. Ace's ambition is in service to another person he deeply admires and loves like a father. He believes Whitebeard is the greatest and deserves the title, and he'll dedicate his life to making that happen. Luffy's ambition is purely his own. It's a force of nature. He looks Ace in the eye and tells him that if Whitebeard is going for the title, Luffy will just have to fight him for it.
Two brothers, both aiming for the absolute peak of the world, but on opposing sides. It's not hostile, it's not a threat, it's just a statement of fact, a promise of a future confrontation at the highest level. It's a remarkably mature piece of relationship for two characters who fall asleep while eating.
It's so good. It sets up a future plotline that is just mind-bogglingly huge. Meanwhile, someone else is thinking about all this. We cut back to Nanohana and Smoker is stewing. And you know when Smoker is stewing, he's actually thinking hard.
He's not just angry that Luffy escaped, he's processing what he saw. He recognized Portgas D Ace, the 2nd Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, a major player on the world stage, just intervened in a small-time chase in Paradise. The gears in his head are turning.
Why is a man of that stature here? He knows this is bigger than just one rookie pirate crew. A Yonko commander doesn't just pop into Alabasta for a vacation. Something is going on.
But he saw something else, too. He tells Tashigi he recognized Princess Vivi among the Straw Hats, and he immediately connects the dots to the warlord in charge of this country, Crocodile. He puts it all together in an instant. The princess is fleeing with pirates, the country is on the brink of civil war, a Yonko commander is present, and a warlord is sitting pretty in the middle of it all.
He smells a rat. A big, sandy, crocodile-shaped rat. He knows something is deeply wrong here. The official story doesn't add up.
And he delivers this incredible line. Tigers never change their stripes. He's saying a pirate is always a pirate. He doesn't trust the warlord system. He sees it for what it is, the government giving a leash to a predator and pretending it's a pet. But a tiger is still a tiger, and it will eat you the second you turn your back.
This is why Smoker is so compelling. He's a Marine, but he follows his own justice. He sees the corruption and the hypocrisy in the system he serves, and he hates it. He's not just hunting Luffy, he's hunting for the truth. He's one of the few authority figures we've met who seems to have a genuine, incorruptible moral compass. He's a true wild card.
He knows Crocodile is playing a game, and the world government is letting him. It's a chilling confirmation that the system itself is flawed, that a government-sanctioned title doesn't change the nature of the man who holds it. Crocodile is a pirate, and Smoker is going to treat him like one.
Back on the Mary, Ace is getting ready to leave, but first, he gives Luffy a gift.
A strange, blank piece of paper. He tells Luffy this will allow them to meet again someday. He says it will guide them to each other.
Luffy just takes it, no questions asked. He trusts his brother completely. He doesn't need to know how it works. If Ace gave it to him, it's good enough. He probably thinks it's just cool. He stuffs it under his hatband next to his most precious treasure, and that's that.
I, however, need to know how it works. Paper doesn't do that. This is not a map. There's some kind of power imbued in it. It feels important, like it's not just for a friendly reunion. It feels more like a lifeline, a tether. Given the world they live in, it feels like a piece of foreshadowing, and it makes me deeply uneasy.
And then Ace's tone gets serious. The goofy, sleepy-eyed big brother is gone. He turns to the Straw Hats, and you can see the commander of the Whitebeard Pirates. He thanks them for taking care of his little brother, and he tells them why he's in this part of the world to begin with.
He's hunting a man named Blackbeard.
A man from his own division on Whitebeard's crew, a subordinate.
Who broke the one unbreakable rule of that crew. He killed a crewmate, a brother.
You can feel the temperature drop when he says it. The air gets heavy. This isn't just a mission from his captain. This is personal. This is a vendetta. Ace is carrying the weight of his murdered friend, and he will not stop until he finds this Blackbeard and delivers justice. As a commander, it's his responsibility.
The name itself carries so much weight. Edward Teach, Blackbeard, is the most infamous pirate name in real-world history. For Oda to introduce a character with that name and to frame him as the ultimate traitor, a man who would commit the most heinous sin a pirate can, killing one of his own for personal gain, this is not a side quest. This is a main plotline being born right in front of our eyes. This Blackbeard character, whoever he is, feels destined to be a pivotal figure in the entire saga.
No way. This is a collision course, and Ace is heading right for it. It's ominous, man. Really ominous.
And as Ace says his goodbyes and hops back on his skiff, a fleet of Baroque Works ships, the Billions, closes in on the Going Merry. A whole handful of them.
The Straw Hats are ready to throw down. They're not scared. Sanji's kicking his leg. Zoro's got his hand on his swords. They're ready to fight for their captain's brother. It's a sweet moment. They've accepted him completely.
But Ace just holds up a hand. He smiles. It's the same goofy, sleepy-eyed big brother smile Luffy gets sometimes.
He tells Luffy to stay put and that he'll show him something cool. He points his fingers like a gun at the entire fleet, and he says one word, Heiken. Fire Fist.
A colossal pillar of fire erupts from his hand and stretches across the water. It's not a fireball. It's a lance of pure solar energy. It doesn't just hit the first ship. It goes through it, and the next one, and the one after that.
It vaporizes all of those ships in a single, instantaneous attack. He didn't just sink them. He erased them from existence. The power, the scale, the absolute casual confidence of it. We've seen powerful attacks before, Mihawk cutting a galleon in half, but this was effortless destruction on a massive scale. That is the strength of a commander of an emperor's crew. That's the terrifying power of a mastered Loja fruit. It is super.
The Straw Hats are just left speechless. Their jaws are on the floor. They've never seen anything like it. Luffy has fought a warlord, or at least he thinks he has. They've fought giants, but this is a completely different level from anything they've ever encountered. This is the power that rules the new world. It's a demonstration that says, you are not ready for what's to come.
And as he sails away, wreathed in flames, Ace turns back and yells at Luffy. He tells him to get stronger and to meet him again at the top.
It's a challenge, a promise, and a farewell. It's the perfect ending to his introduction. He arrives, completely recontextualizes our main character, sets up 3 massive future plot lines, Whitebeard, Blackbeard, and the Will of D, demonstrates an unbelievable level of power, and then leaves. A perfect narrative catalyst.
Oda's author comment this week is pretty chill. He says he's behind the times, but he finally saw the movie Buena Vista Social Club. He just says it was sweet, super sweet.
It's a wonderful documentary about elderly Cuban musicians being brought together for a recording session and tour. It fits Oda's love for music and for stories about old masters getting their due, a theme we've seen with characters like Zeph and Kureha. It's a very wholesome note to end on after such an intense, world-expanding chapter.
For sure. All right, before we get to predictions, we were just talking about Smoker versus Ace, and that's a fight I would love to see. Smoke versus fire. Who wins? Smoke can't be burned. Fire can't be grabbed by smoke. It's an elemental stalemate. Let us know in the comments who you think would take that one. And while you're down there, drop a like if you think Crocodile has any idea what's coming for him. He's about to have Straw Hats, a rogue marine, and a Yonko commander all converging on his little desert paradise.
Okay, predictions for chapter 160. I'll start. My first one is that we're going to follow Smoker. His last panel was too significant. He's not just going to sit in Nanohana and wait for orders from headquarters, which he knows will be compromised by the politics of the warlord system, his sense of justice is too strong. He is going to defy his orders and begin his own covert investigation into Crocodile. He and Tashigi will become a third party in this conflict, operating in the shadows.
Oh, I like that. A rogue marine plotline. That sounds super awesome. My turn. I predict we're going to see Karoo's journey. Oda's not going to skip it. He just spent valuable panel time establishing the mission and its importance. We're going to see him crossing the desert, having to use his wits and speed to evade Baroque Works agents who are definitely going to be hunting for him. It's going to be a tense solo mission, a little mini-adventure that shows the bravery of one of the unsung heroes of the crew.
That feels right. It would be a disservice to his character to have him just arrive. My second prediction is about that piece of paper Luffy gave him. I think we're going to get a small hint about its nature soon. Not a full explanation, but a clue. Maybe when Luffy is in extreme danger in a future fight, the paper will get warm or start to smoke a little. A subtle indication that it's not just a tracking device, but that it's connected to Ace's life force.
A Vivre card. Man, that would be a classic Oda move, planting a seed that won't fully bloom for hundreds of chapters. I love it. Okay, my final prediction. The crew is heading up the river towards the desert. They just saw this insane display of power from Ace. I think they're feeling a mix of awe and maybe a little bit of we need to get stronger. The very next major character they meet will be one of Crocodile's officer agents, and they're going to have to fight them right there on the river before they even properly set foot in the desert. The gauntlet starts now. No more downtime.
An immediate test to see how they measure up after witnessing the power of a Yonko commander. That's a strong possibility. The road to Alabasta is not going to be an easy one.
Not a chance, but we'll be there every step of the way. That's all the time we have for today. Join us next time as we dive into Chapter 160. Until then, keep sailing.